Good morning. We are happy to be here today. My name is Ryan Newberry, and I'm here with Kimmy Sullivan and Rachel Zabala. With our first webcast, we will be breaking apart this week's six-word memoir. This particular memoir is in correlation with Toni Morrison's Rest of His Teeth, but instead of focusing on the whole story, this memoir will concentrate on the first section of the story only.
This week's six-word memoir is Orphans Are Heartbroken, Abandoned, Indifferent. These 6 words were chosen carefully to help represent the first section of Toni Morrison's story. But before we continue on with the memoir, if you have not already, now would be a good time to check out the rest of the website and find the summary of section 1. So it'll just be easier to understand as we continue on with our webcast.
Alright, to start, let's take a look at 2 of the words, heartbroken and abandoned. At the beginning of the webcast, there is a photo of a broken heart puzzle. The girls' hearts are broken because they feel abandoned by their parents. It is possible that through the orphanage, their heart can be put back together. In the first section of girls are in the orphans because their mothers abandoned them and placed them into the orphanage. This helps to sum up the beginning of the story and how Roberta and Twyla meet each other. As the story progresses, heartbreak becomes visible when Maggie, a worker at the orphanage, is pushed around by the older girls of the home. Later on in the story, this particular situation proves to be more important than it is in the first and affects both girls.
The last word of the memoir, different, explains the other half of section 1 of Toni Morrison's story. Near the end of the section, the girls' mothers come to visit their daughters at the orphanage. This particular part is when the differences between Roberta and Twyla become noticeable. Roberta's mother is more prepared and respectful, as opposed to Twyla's mother, who is less prepared and less respectful during the church services at the orphanage. In addition, the reader can infer throughout the section, as well as the story, that one of the girls is white while the other is black. These differences will begin to play a key part as the story continues on.
The second half of our webcast consists of us taking a look at how these 6 words come together to capture the idea of the first section in Toni Morrison's story. This section sets the stage for the rest of the story. The reader is introduced to the characters, the situation, and the background of Roberta and Twyla.
The main idea in this section of the story is that 2 girls meet and become acquainted with one another, and both have different backgrounds with some similarities intertwined.
The heartbroken and abandoned portion of the memoir both contribute to the main point by showing what the similarities are between the girls. They were both abandoned by their mothers. In addition, both experienced heartbreak together when Maggie was bullied by the older girls of the orphanage, which becomes a larger part of the story as it moves on.
The last part of the memoir, different, helps explain the differences between Roberta and Twyla. One of the girls is white, while the other is black, which tends to play a large part when analyzing the differences between them. As the story moves past section 1, the differences become much more widespread.
Despite these differences between the girls, they do become friends while at the orphanage. As the section ends, they want the friendship to continue on after they leave the home.
In this segment of our weekly webcast, we would like to sum things up by explaining how this memoir might go on to represent some other aspects later in the story. The main word from our memoir that captures the story as a whole is the word different.
Roberta and Twyla have both changed since the orphanage and have become more different from each other than before. One such instance is the event with Maggie. Towards the end of the story, Roberta and Twyla both remembered different things about what happened to Maggie. Roberta explains that Twyla kicked Maggie when she was down and that Maggie was black. This fits perfectly with the word different. The 2 girls view the situation differently. Toni Morrison leaves the reader to interpret the reason for the different views.
And that wraps it up for today. Thank you for watching the 6-Word Memoir Weekly Webcast, and stay tuned next week. I'm Rachel Zabala.
And I'm Kimmy Sullivan.
And I'm Ryan Newberry.
Have a good day.
Thanks for watching.